so the last little bit of Shintoism here is the festivals, the matsuris that are very much part. This is where people come around and get together as a community, as neighbors, as friends, family, celebrate these festivals. Sometimes they're at shrines, sometimes they're in neighborhoods, and there's all sorts of. I mean, it's really hard to define exactly just how many. They're all throughout the year. Some are big, some are small. In fact, we'll probably talk about these a little more when we get to the section on Japanese arts in a little more detail. But just kind of some broad ones that I think are important. Events that kind of are notable throughout the year that align with Shintoism. These are the annual festivals. Hatsumode, this is a New Year's visit. I can mention that I think pretty much every family the idea of New Year's is that you come together as a family. You have a New Year's special meal in the morning, and then in the afternoon you go to the shrine and you do a prayer for your family, for your ancestors. That's where you get your omomori, your yearly sort of amulets, and they sell all sorts of things. So that's very much sort of part of kick off the year is sort of a go to local Shinto shrine, and all throughout sort of New Year's, people have the day off. It's kind of like a week off celebration, a few days. So a lot of people go to different shrines around. So it's very much part of the New Year process. Another one that's really big in the usually about I think mid February, early March is Setsuban, the day before spring. This is I think I put a video here about it, but it's very interesting. So you have these demons, and the whole sort of tradition here is you throw these little beans at these demons to kind of dispel the evil spirits for a new year, for the spring is coming right before. I mean, if you could even say that the Cherry Blossom Festival is very much a Shinto festival as well. The appreciation of cherry blossom trees out in nature, but before that, right, you kind of part of this is this Satsuban festival where you go, these people dress up as these demons, and the kids really like it. You throw the beans at the demons. And there's some saying you say, I can't remember at the top of my head, but there's something you recite as you throw the beans at these demons. So that kind of start the new year off right. Hiramatsuri, the girls' day, is March 3rd, coming up here. They have these really nice dolls that you can make for those. So if you're a celebration mainly of daughters, but also sisters and mothers and wives. So girls' day is March 3rd. Then boys' day, similar. They have another set of dolls that they have for boys' day, Tango, which is May 5th, and then the big summer festival, Tanabata Star Festival. This is actually sort of it's a Chinese legend of the stars that sort of cross the Milky Way in July. So it's a Chinese story that gets enveloped with that kind of brings over to is brought into Japan, but then very much sort of aligns with Japanese sort of Shintoism, and a lot of it. And again, summertime, people usually go out. A lot of people go to the ocean during this time. So if you're along the coast, you go out there. You could set up and you can sit on the beach and relax and have snacks. Bring the kids, hang out. So Tanabata Star Festival is another big sort of annual festival there. So, and really all year round. I mean, there's a lot of festivals throughout the year that are celebrated, and then there's kind of locally, particularly in the autumn, there's a lot of autumn festivals. Similar, because Japan is kind of like the West, where after summer you harvest everything in the autumn, and then you have winter. So similar to like Thanksgiving, we have it is sort of like a harvest festival, if you will. You have a lot of food, so you have a big feast, and then before winter hits, there's a lot of autumn festivals around. A lot of those are a little more locally based. So, but really all year round, there's specific festivals, and these are kind of some of the big ones. And then there's some more sort of ceremonial festivals. This is a picture of one. This is Kaname Sai, the first offering of first rice. So this is kind of another one of these fall festivals. This is at Ise, October 15th through 17th. So this is another one of those more imperial ceremonies where you're offering again in the fall. So this is the first rice out of the fields. You offer it to Amaterasu there. So that's very ceremonial. Here you can see all the Shinto priests performing this. I think the emperor typically attends it too. Another big one is Sengu, the rebuilding of the Amaterasu shrine at Ise every 20 years. So there's some these are more ceremonial where you really get the annual and some are annual, some are every 20 years. These little more ceremonial Shinto festivals. And then another interesting one, kind of one of the biggest Shinto festivals, is the Sanja Matsuri. It's in Tokyo every summer, I think. And it's actually really interesting because this is a very interesting sort of conflation of Shinto and Buddhism. We haven't got to Buddhism yet, but they kind of, for the most part, sort of complement each other. There are Buddhist celebrations and festivals, and there's Shinto ones, but this is one where they kind of mix together. It's actually a Shinto celebration of the founding of a Buddhist temple. These three guys found an image of the Buddha in the river, and then built a Buddhist temple, and then they actually then became kami themselves. And here is these mikoshis, these palanquins that the people would carry around. So this is a nice example of these. You'd move these, bring the kamis out of the temple. Everyone comes around, helps carry them around. So these are another example of how these different ways people celebrate. So some of them are very, I guess, regulated, ceremonial. We have a lot of priests. Others are, a lot more personal, worshipful, where people can come out and worship with everyone else. So it's maybe more, I guess, more public, more sacred would be a way to determine those. So that's just kind of these Shinto Matsuris, and there's a whole bunch there. And if you're ever in Japan, I mean, if you could just look at the calendar, and somewhere in a month there's usually some celebration somewhere